on superset training. So superset training is a system of training where you perform a set of 2 different exercises, one after another, with minimal rest in between each exercise. In this article, we're going to focus on push-pull supersets, which are a great way to perform a high volume of work using opposing muscle groups. For example, if the first exercise was a bench press, that will be classified as a push exercise, followed by a bent over row, which is classified as a pull exercise. This type of training results in an overall shorter workout time with controlled metabolic stress and increased aerobic intensity. This is achieved from the short rest period and the opposing muscle groups that are being used. Throughout this article, we are going to look at how to apply and program for superset training, what the training program consists of, and training recommendations. So let's look at how to program for superset training. Each program should consist of a minimum of 3 workouts per week. However, in advanced level lifters with a higher training age, superset training can be performed up as far as 6 times per week with a rest day in the middle of the week. So let's look at how that week is structured for an advanced level lifter. On a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, superset training would be performed. On a Thursday, we would take our rest day. And at the back end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, superset training would be performed. Each workout should consist of 3 supersets with opposing muscle groups, 1 push and 1 pull exercise. Superset training can be performed for rep ranges between 6 to 15 reps. Superset training will keep the total workout time down while allowing for high volume to be achieved in the session. And it's very important that compound lifts should be performed at the start of the program while fatigue is at its lowest. Accessory work then can be performed at the back end of the program, targeting smaller muscle groups. So when it comes to training age, this training system lends itself very nicely to novice, intermediate, and advanced level lifters. If you were working with a novice lifter, you perhaps would program maybe 3 times a week with a rest day in between each training day. If you're dealing with an intermediate lifter with a training age greater than a year, you perhaps would program 4 to 5 times a week. And then finally, if you're dealing with an advanced level lifter who has a training age greater than 3 years of age, 3 years of structured training under the belt, you can program up as far as 6 times a week for their superset training. So let's take a look at the actual training program. So day 1, chest and back. So our first superset would be a barbell bench press, supersetted with a barbell bent over row. We're looking at 4 sets of 8 repetitions. So the focus here is on functional hypertrophy. The next superset would be incline dumbbell press, supersetted with lat pull down. We're looking at 3 sets of 10 repetitions. As fatigue sets in, we're starting to higher the repetitions. And then finally, the final superset is incline chest fly, supersetted with incline reverse fly, 3 sets of 12 repetitions. Day 2, we would focus on legs and abs, where our first superset would be barbell back squat, supersetted with RDL. We're looking at 4 sets of 8 repetitions. So again, the start of the program is on functional hypertrophy. The second superset would be dumbbell lunge, supersetted with lying leg curl, 3 sets of 10 repetitions. And then the final superset in the program will be calf raise and hanging leg raise, where we are looking at 3 sets of 12 repetitions. So the reps are moving higher as fatigue sets in towards the end of the program. Day 3, arms and shoulders. We're looking at barbell shoulder press, supersetted with dumbbell shrugs, 4 sets of 8 repetitions. Again, start of the program is focusing on functional hypertrophy. The second superset in the program is a dumbbell lateral raise, supersetted with hammer curls, 3 sets, 10 repetitions. And the final superset in the program is our EZ bar Skull crushers supersetted with our EZ barbell curls, where we have 3 sets of 12 repetitions. Day 4 then would be our rest day as discussed, and then for the final 3 days we would repeat our chest and back push-pull, our legs and abs push-pull, and our shoulders and arms push-pull. So in this article as well, I have a video linked where it goes more in depth about superset training. Finally, moving on to the training recommendations. So our first recommendation is that superset training should be performed for a period of 3 to 6 weeks. Then we need to change the stimulus for the person that we're programming for. The second recommendation is superset training can be performed every other day for novice lifters, so that's important, and every day for intermediate to advanced level lifters. So it's important to know the training age of the individual you're working with. Recommendation number 3, a superset training program should consist of 6 exercises performed over 3 supersets. The first superset should be the heaviest and incorporate compound lifts such as bench and squat. The second and third exercise can start to target isolation type movements or weaker muscle groups. Recommendation number 4, when prescribing load or weight lifted, try to prescribe a plateau approach to the program by picking the same load lifted for each set. Very important. Recommendation number 5, try to increase that load lifted each week by 2% each session. So what we mean by that is if week 1 you are squatting 100 kilos, when you come in to perform that exercise or that program the following week, you should be squatting 102 kilos. If you're bench pressing 50 kilos on week 1, a 2% increase on 50 kilos on week 2, you will be going up to 51 kilos in the bench press. So progressive overload, the principle of progressive overload is being followed each week. Recommendation number 6, the rest period, rest for 60 to 90 seconds during sets, and then you rest during supersets should be minimal, 10 to 15 seconds, which is just enough time to get from your push exercise to your pull exercise.